The oracle's loyalty is with the truth. If you ask her about the future, she will speak in riddles. There's a difference between casually dangling a prophecy for the consumption of the insatiable and dropping the full weight of a future like it has already happened. Like anything you do will only push along the inevitable. That thin line is the canvas of the lost but honest artist, loophole of omniscience, a parade of symbols left by strangers on a freedom wall in a city you see only in dreams. One of them will tell you to keep the light on. One of them will give you the words for the most beautiful love letter that tried to save anyone. One of them is holding a mirror. One of them is deleting its messages before you could read them, for your own good. One of them is a knife asking for permission to set you free. One of them is a question. The heart wants what it wants, but at what cost?
The pink, red, and white, but like it can also feel like heavily toxic, heavily consumerist. So I mean that's part of it. Part of it was also a bit of me kind of trying to find my place, feeling lost in Chicago.
Suddenly the owl shattered into colors and patterns. Was this all madness? When the warm sun shines upon the experiment of this human alchemy, forbidden worlds appear through the cracks, dazzling us with pure chaos, conjuring clouds of wonder and ignorance, loose pebbles to play the fruit of knowledge, whose opinions blossom as rituals of rebellion. I had a feeling that stirred, groaned, and creaked like roots of the vast underworld, growing down through the levels of distorted reflections and unexpected places.
See the sunlight hit the water and watch the waves sparkle, the white caps glisten, while the sound echoes in your dreams. She calls to you like her lover, an enticing mantra, to remember her infinite beauty, her healing nature, her playful qualities. Come to her shore. Scatter your lover's ashes, because you agreed to the farewell he requested in the hospital, as hot tears trickle, remembering his smile.
Deborah so much.
Thank you.
I love that through the poem you spoke of action that happens on any body of water, between kayaking or an ocean shipwreck. And the water for a long time has been a subject matter near and dear to my heart, and I use looking at the water to process my emotions, the beautiful things, the sad things, and every time that I go to the water, I feel the words that you spoke, and I don't use words as my medium. I use paint and color, and so it was so wonderful to hear that for the first time and feel that again and again every time I'm looking at the water.
Arrows, Its Many Faces, written by Laura Clincy. Departure. Soul has left body, battle lost, excruciating peril. Losing your mind is a privilege reserved for those who feel. Crisp, metallic, a faint musk. Sometimes we string it out to wear it thin, like a nostalgic bliss. What a hollow place for a lover. Yearning for what has already been. A transient cedar, absent smell where they once lived, marked by silence.
This painting, whenever I did it, was meant to depict the hyperbolized experience of like talking through or working through experiences with a group of people with similar traumas or experiences, and that the intertwined unraveling that occurs when you're unpacking things together. And there are multiple figures in the painting, but I use the same model for each of them. That's kind of wanted to represent how that like unintentional but inevitable comparison that you make when you hear other people's stories.
Field mice make a home under the hood and in the upholstery. Oxygen and water make a meal of the steel. The rust may seem random, but in fact there's a pattern. The driver's side door wants to swing open, so it's secured with a bungee cord threaded through a broken window. Stingray, a lesser-known album by Joe Cocker, is jammed, now unplayable, in an aftermarket 8-track tape player. Though the tires are rife with organic material, it's an object, it has no soul. Though a product of intelligence, it has none of its own, built before onboard computers were commonplace. But it is suffused with the cells and DNA of its occupants, and it is a catalyst for human memories, those imperfect extended pictures. For decades, it rests and rolls on concrete and tarmac, tires taut with pressure, sidewalls once glass, once waxy and gleaming, now pebbled and pitted with rust. Soil and grass beneath wheels that are not wheels. Nature takes the elements back. Iron that was once inside the earth, rubber that was once inside a tree. It will probably be hooked to a tow truck, hauled away to be dismantled or crushed. But it could remain here without utility if we are patient and can wait for time, nature, and inevitability to absorb and erase this thing.
Tough to follow that. That was touching. It got me emotional. That was really cool. That was very heartfelt. I can really feel that. And then just, as you were joking about it being a painting, my process, I print on metal composite. I find glass to be a conflict. And I think that's disingenuous to the piece. And then to take it another level, I upcycle hand-carved Mexican wood frames, and hit those with some paint, and just kind of bring those pieces back to life. And that's kind of what I call my kind of unique process and approach to it. So thank you guys for coming out. Please don't forget to comment for this, like as the flyer said, the art suites. Yeah. And on top of that, Tom, it is yours.
Dialogues with the tongue over the wrongs he has spoken to the deceased, the griever. Oh, those rotten words we say when we meant to be gentle. Oh, how I spoke so harshly when I wanted to be kind. Kindness of the thoughts and kindness of the tongue are odd little enemies when a bitter love blooms where a child once spoke with the unguarded affection of a child's joyous laughter. Oh, how a bitter tongue reproaches when a loving soul was gentle where it was just in cruelty. How a little tongue can bite so painfully, toothless and boneless, it strikes with the force of whetted swords. Come, little tongue, the eyes are blackened with your shame. Come, little slithering serpent, I am blind with your guilt.
I'm crying a little bit. Thank you. This is so cool, you guys. This is so cool, and thank you so much. Because, wow, that was just, I'm so touched, and that was incredible. But I always try to tell myself, if I'm feeling down, that sometimes the artwork isn't for you. Sometimes it's for someone else. And even if you don't like it, sometimes it speaks to somebody and then they can make that beautiful piece of poetry. So that's all I want to say. Thank you, VibrantCast, but thank you. That was amazing. And it was really cool for me to hear.
Arms and legs tangle like crossed wires. Mouths form silent oaths, half prayers, half questions. Circling ideas they'll never escape. From the shadows, a face emerges. It's smoke curling like smoke. Delighting in the chaos, it commands, let the world burn. Here, words collapse inward, each crack a dialect forgotten. Every silence a damning translation we've grown fluent in. Silence, please.
And that's our Mabel. Smile, Mabel, smile. The Bible says that God rested on the seventh day, but that's simply not true. You see, God looked at the poppy plant, and it was good. And then God looked at the sativa plant, and it was good. And God looked at the coca plant, and that was good. And then God looked at the psilocybin mushroom, and it was Magical Man. And God did microdose. He made our Mabel. We give her a name tag and keep her lipstick on straight. Yeah, Mabel, where's Mabel?
I'll just be relatively brief. I think a lot about why art even is at this point, because I'm effectively an ex-Catholic atheist that just wants people to feel okay. But I don't see a point at the end of it, and I find that that inherent nihilism that one can find themselves within if you kind of like confront an absence of belief can lead into explosions of violence, can lead into explosions of all sorts of really negative components of humanity that we all experience in a really sense. But in a way, I just kind of wanted to make an image that was sort of an angelic creature that embodies some pretty negative thoughts that I have. I hope that's okay.